Hey everybody, Questwise here, and today I want to talk about a little game that I've been introduced to. I put it off for a little while, but thanks to my friends over at Runehammer Games and over at Bloat Games and a few other people that I met on the internet, I finally bit the bullet and picked this thing up. Index Card RPG. That's right, Independent Index Card RPG comes in two books, the core book as well as Worlds. You don't have to have both of them. Core book will give you everything you need to ever play. Worlds expounds upon all that awesomeness. Let me talk about it for a little bit. I was unsure about this game for a long time. I had seen the reviews. I had seen some of the videos that Runehammer put up about this game and about how it plays. I watched some of the actual live play stuff as well too, and I was a little bit hesitant. I thought it felt a little bit video gamey, and I wasn't really sure if it was going to be something that I really like, because I really like immersive gameplay and I really like cool storytelling aspects and myth-making possibilities. And let me just say, I'm the first to admit I was wrong. This game kicks ass. It is awesome. It is sort of rules light, and the fact that he wants you, the author over at Runehammer Games, I'll affectionately refer to as Hanker Infernal, he wants you to use your imagination. This whole game is about your imagination, and he doesn't want the rules to get in the way. And so he's sort of simplified down some rules, loosely based on the D20 system from D&D, which is sort of the root of everything. But he's added some really amazing stuff and made it his own game, and really just knocked it out of the park. Like, this game utterly amazes me. And the reason I'm so excited about this game is that for the longest time, I've always sort of like searched for that game that would sort of reignite my primal passion for gaming. That sort of early excitement that I got for gaming when I first was introduced to the games. I remember playing on my very first session of like Heroes Unlimited by Palladium Books, and a company I still love with all my heart. I'm a huge fan of all their stuff. And I will be an unabashed lover of all their things until the day I die. But the first time I ever played that game, there was a sort of like magical spark that went off inside my heart, and I knew this is something I wanted to be part of the rest of my life. And over the years, and I've been playing these games for 30 some years, and I've gone into just about every possible damn game out there, be it D&D or be it Shadowrun, Call of Cthulhu, and there's all great games. And I've even delved into some of the very smaller games, like the indie games, and there's some great indie games out there and stuff. And it's always been sort of like, they've been great games, and I've really enjoyed all of them, but there's not been one that's sort of like just like brought me back to that instant that I first learned about gaming, that I realized that I could take all these awesome fantasy stories that I had read about, all these awesome science fiction tropes, all of these amazing comic book stories that I had read, and bring them to life inside my brain. I had all these stories I wanted to tell, but I didn't know how to tell them. And so I needed like that sort of like that little push with a little bit of a rules that, how to construct the sort of framework of telling these stories and creating these myths and stuff. And that was like what it was like when I first started gaming, when I first bumped into Heroes Unlimited and TMNT and other strangeness. There was this thing I just dreamed about this stuff constantly for weeks and months afterward, and I started to, because of where I lived in tiny northern Michigan, there was no place to find those right away. And so before I actually stumbled upon D&D, I began to take those ideas that I gleaned over that summer of playing those games, and I created my own stuff. I found some old dice out of a Yahtzee set and stuff, and I grabbed some comic books, and I just made up shit on my own, and I played all summer long, and it was amazing, and it was magical, and it was just because it was spurred directly from my imagination. And that's what Runehammer has done with these books. He has given you a small framework of stuff to be able to draw from, to have a sort of a core structure on how the game runs, and the rest is up to you and your players. The rest is totally part of your imagination. These books, again, like I said, the only thing I can really think to say is that they've reignited my primal passion for gaming. So the core book has everything you need to play. It has two settings. It has Elfheim, which is your fantasy type setting, and everything you would expect from that and more. It has Warp Shell, which is the science fiction setting, which is this crazy. I can't even describe what it is. It's not Star Trek. It's not Star Wars. It's not Firefly. It's sort of a mix of all three and even more. There's some really kick-ass stuff in there. And then so I got all the rules on how to play and everything in here, as well as loot tables. And loot is one of the great things about this. There are no levels in this game, and that's the thing that kind of I love. I love the fact that there's no levels, that your character sort of levels up, as it were, or gains in power and strength through loot, through things you pick up and you find. And loot doesn't always have to be items, although it kind of is. But it could add more hit points to you, and we'll get to hit points in a minute on how he does hit points. It could give you some cool new power, some new magic. It could be a new magical spell. It could be all sorts of stuff. And that's how your character gets more powerful in this game, is by finding loot and discovering things and defeating enemies and exploring new places and stuff. All that stuff's in here in the core book. When you pick up the Worlds book as well, this really expands upon Alfheim. It gives you a ton of the stuff that's in here too is like they're adventures, but they're only like 1 page long, and they're not even really adventures. They're like adventure seeds on this whole page. It sets up a little bit of gives you a little bit of background fluff on an idea, and then gives you just like a list of things, and then you just let your imagination take whatever direction you want it to go. So a whole bunch of great world setting on Alfheim, a whole bunch of great stuff on Warp Shell, and then, oh yes, and then it adds in Ghost Mountain, which is this crazy, weird, Wild West, awesome, pocket dimension, crazy awesomeness. Think Dark Tower meets Deadlands. I mean, it's an amazing mix of cool stuff. There's a bunch of other stuff in here as well too, some really cool tips and techniques on how to do different things. And all sorts of goodness. The other thing I really love about the core book, and something that I wish that more role-playing games would do, is that the Game Master section isn't just like a list of stuff like, here's a bunch of magic items, here's how you build a dungeon. He gives you tips on how to sort of interact with your group. It's not so much a way of like, hey, here's how to build a world. It's like, hey, here's how to use your imagination collectively as a group to create universes, to create entire new myths. I mean, that's the cool thing about this. So it's more advice on how to interact with your players and how to make awesome games, because all that really matters at the end of the day is that you and your friends and anybody at your table had a kick-ass time while they were playing this game. I'm going to, at the end of this video, I'm going to attach another smaller video where I create a character just to show you how flexible and how awesome and how quick this game can be. But if you haven't checked out ICRPG, as it's affectionately known, independent index card role-playing game, please do. You can get these over at DriveThruRPG. They're fairly cheap. I think each one of them was about around $20. They're paperback. They're awesome. They're print on demand. These things showed up way faster than I thought they were going to. Great stuff. I have but one simple complaint. One. When you buy these, you get the print books that come sent to you. You also get the PDF emailed to you directly, or you can download it directly from DriveThruRPG. Unfortunately, the thing that kind of bummed me out is that the file that they use to print the core book is an older file than the PDF you get when you purchase the product. So it's different. The rules are basically the same, but Hankering has actually cleaned up some stuff and made some things a little bit clearer and added a few more loot tables and stuff that are in the PDF that you don't get when you buy the print product. It's just, I think it's an older file that they use to print this. Although it does say, I believe on his website, I read somewhere that that's going to be remedied soon, that's going to be a thing that gets fixed, and he's going to let us know as soon as it is fixed. And then I believe I read somewhere too that Amazon sometime this year will have an exclusive copy of this that you'll be able to buy as well too. That'll be sort of a collector's thing as well. But that's my only gripe. And it's not that hard a thing to pull up your PDF if you need those extra loot tables or a little bit of clarification on a few tables in here as well. Other than that, everything is basically the same. All the artwork is great. His artwork just is phenomenal. You don't really get a sense of it on the covers because the covers are just these cool sort of emblems and stuff. But man, the artwork inside blows me away. Just go check it out. It's awesome. Go to his page. Check out his channel at Runehammer Games. All that kind of stuff. So give me a few minutes and we're going to pump down to the tabletop and I'll show you how to create a character and how awesome it really is. Thanks. All right, everybody, here we're back at the tabletop now, as I promised, and we got our core book here and our worlds book and a character sheet that I printed off. And you get these when you purchase the PDF. There's a separate file that comes with the character sheets and stuff in them. As you can see, they're very simple, but there's a lot of space on here. It's designed very, very well. It's nice. It's got a lot of spots for a lot of great stuff, and we'll slowly go through character creation. We won't go through everything today, just because I want you to experience some of this stuff for yourself and be as excited as I am about it. So today we're just going to use stuff from the core book. We're not going to actually use anything from World, so we'll just set that aside for now. And character creation in this is very, very simple. You don't even need any dice, and it takes just a few minutes. I'll show you how quickly you can make a cool and interesting character. So first thing I want to do is we want to move to, this is all the core rules at the beginning, types of checks, distance, all this kind of stuff. We want to find the character section. Here we are. All right. And it's going to detail it out for you in the book as you go along. So right here, just 1, 2, 3, just follow it straight on the thing. So first I want to choose an image. I didn't really pick out an image yet, although I'll show you the one that comes with the character class when we actually get to that page. I'll show you kind of the one I had in mind that sort of inspired me for the thing. Dream up a story. So based on your hero's imagery, determine a name and a short story. Haven't really come up with a name yet as well either. I think I might leave that for later, but my imagery I got, and I'm going to create a warp shell character today because I'm excited about that kind of setting. The great thing about this, again, like I said before too, is that the fact that it's all based on your imagination, all this stuff is interchangeable. So if you want to have a cybernet, a mecha-based gunslinger in the fantasy setting, you can do it, and it works. And it's all, again, based on your imagination and that sort of like childlike wonder that you can get from playing this game. So we're going to skip over that, but my initial thing was a warp shell character that's very stealthy and is kind of a frontline hitter and is very kind of predator-like, I guess, in a sense. But I'll show you that when we get to it. So next we want to build our stats and our effort. Take a look at the character sheet. You got all this cool stuff here. We got our stats over here, our effort over here. The way he kind of determines this kind of thing, the way this story is told, is that there are attempts and there are efforts. And attempts are anytime you're rolling to do something, whether it be to climb a wall or to open a chest or to fight an enemy, okay? An effort is basically what they would call like damage in any other kind of role-playing game, but not necessarily. During combat, it would be like damage, but anytime that you're trying to do something like open a chest, you would apply effort as well too. And I don't know if you can read this on the camera or not, but there's basic effort, weapon damage, magical effects, and ultimate. And ultimate is whenever you roll a maximum on your attempt, you get to add ultimate to that as well too. And there's a few other ways to do that as well too. And I'll get to hearts. I mentioned in the previous part of the video that I was going to talk about hit points and the way he does hearts. What's really interesting about the way he does hit points is that they're lumped into hearts, or 10 hit points for each heart. And it's a quick way. Now, when you're reducing your damage, if you're taking damage from guns and weapons and whatever, swords, you do count them like hit points. So each one of them counts as 10 hit points. So if you take 6 damage, you have 4 left of your 10 hit points. But when you heal, you simply just gain an extra heart back. When you encounter enemies, they might have 3 hearts, and it gives you a quick sort of modifier, quick way to reference the fact that this is a 3 heart kind of a challenge, and that's going to be rather difficult for beginning characters and stuff. But first of all, what we want to do is we want to take 6 points. We get 6 points to divide amongst all of our stats and our armor and our effort. And this section of the character sheet right here. So I want to be stealthy, and I want to be that kind of stealthy, secrety, shadowy kind of character. So I'm gonna put +2 into Dex. So there's a little bit of thing here. It says the base bonus there. So I'm gonna put 2 there, and let's see, that gives me 4 left. I know that basic work is sometimes the hardest. Like a lot of times, basic work is anything you do with your hands that doesn't involve like a weapon. So opening a chest is basic work unless you have some kind of a loot that will let you do other kind of cool stuff. So I know that that's a little bit more difficult, so I'm gonna put +1 in there. So that's 3 of my 6. It gives me 3 left. Let's see. I'm gonna put 1 in my armor because I want to be, and the armor just is harder for you to be hit. So doesn't necessarily means I have lots of armor on. It could be like a stealth suit that allows me to avoid damage, that kind of thing as well too. So I'm gonna put that in there, and you know what? I really want to do, let's see, so that's 2, 3, 4. That gives me 2 left. I'm going to put, let's put 1 in the weapon damage, and I'm going to put 1, 6 points is kind of, I'm going to put 1 in intelligence. So I'm going to put 1 over here, just in case. Just I want to be a little bit smarter. I want to be a little bit more of that keen hunter kind of thing. So there's our 6 points, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Okay, that's it. That's the basic part there. Next, we want to go to number 4. We want to choose our gear. Now, when I was talking about the PDF earlier, and the thing that I was kind of disturbed about, this is the one table that's a little bit different in the PDF. And it's a little confusing in the book, and I think he cleared it up in the PDF. I'm glad that he did so. When you choose your gear, you get to choose 1 item from here. You get to choose 3 items from here, and up to 3 weapons. And weapons are going to be further back in the corresponding section. So over here, I want to be kind of stealthy. Let's take a look at what we got over here. I think I'm going to pick... Let's see. Greedy gloves, no. Meditation, no. Master for coats, no. Firestone, no, that's magical power. Armor kit, boost my armor. Yeah, I'm going to take masterful boots. Nothing helps the nimble and swift like well-made footwear. So I'm going to take masterful boots. So under my equipped gear, I'm going to put masterful boots. Masterful boots. And that's going to give me a +1 to my dex. And I'm going to put that up here under dex. It says loot bonus. I'm going to put a +1. Okay. So I get 1 of those. I get to choose 3 of these. These are just starting equipment that you get. So let's see. I want... I'm going to take some common armor. So just kind of I'm going to take like a light armor kind of thing on there. So I'm going to put common armor. And that gives me a +1 to my armor. So I'm going to put that under loot bonus, +1. And let's see. These tools are kind of interesting. Choose lockpick, smithing, technology by type, or medicine. I'm going to choose tools. These are this is kind of count as carried gear. You get to choose 10 of each. So you can carry 10 things, and you can have 10 things equipped on you. Let's put this over here, and I'm going to put tools. I'm going to say that they're like lock-picking, technologically lock-picking tools. Lock-picking tech. Okay, so that's 2. And let's see. I'm going to take supplies. Supplies are always great to have with you. And supplies can be a lot of things. It could be food, it could be flint, it could be flares, it could be anything that you're going to need for a journey out in this case, out in space and stuff. So there's our 3 there, and then we get to choose 3 weapons. So we're going to go back here to the warp shell. Oops, I went too far. All right, here we are. Here's the weapons for this. Warp shell weapons. So I want to take, let's see, I want to take, I'm going to take a pulse. Let's see, we have a pistol in there, anything, this kind of thing. I'm going to take a duranium blade. Uranium blade. And each of these weapons has sort of keywords. So this is like elegant, large, durable. And I'll add those in later. The weapons all do the same amount of damage, but they have these sort of keywords that allow you to use them in game to make a very cool kind of flowing type of a thing, a more imaginative kind of use for things. So I'll take a Duranium Blade. I'm going to take, oh geez, there's so many cool stuff here. I'm going to take a Pulse Rifle for some range combat. And I'm going to take a Blast Pistol. All right, pistol. Okay, and if we go back here, we find the next step after choosing our gear is to finish our sheet. So you get hearts. You start with 1 heart. It's already circled up here on the character sheet. You get 1 heart, 10 hit points. And then you're going to choose your class and your bioform and all that good stuff. So the class I want to play is the Blip. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here, Blip. And the Blip is really cool. It's a psyker technology. It makes you kind of be able to like be stealthy and to sort of quick teleport from one place to another. So under here in the weapon or recommended gear, it gives us a few ideas of Blast Pistol, Duranium Blade. Okay, awesome, cool. We got a couple of those things. And as a starter reward, we get a Phase Core. So that's going to be on here, Phase Core. And that allows us to do a near move without traveling in between. So I can just be like, whoop, kind of teleport short distances, okay? So that's it for that. And then over here, you pick a bioform, which is sort of the idea of races. And what I wanted to do was Reptoid. I think that's cool. So up in here in a bioform will be Reptoid. Reptoid. These are like science fiction lizard men. But what's really cool about them is they get this cool ability that they get +1 dex. So I'm going to put another +1 dex over here. They get heat vision. So I'm going to put this on here. There's not really a spot for it, but heat vision, that's not something I'm really carrying or wearing. It's just part of who I am. Lets me to see in the dark. And then I also get use any surface as walkable. So I'm going to put that on here. Any surface walkable. And this is what really made me want to do this character with this class, is it would be really cool to be able to like teleport like from where I'm at, a near move, just like boop up onto the surface of the ceiling and just kind of be stuck to the top of the thing and kind of fire down. Be kind of a cool, I just thought that was a cool idea of like teleporting this little like bamf, almost like a night crawler, kind of to the surface of the roof and then being able to kind of like attack down with surprise. All right, so that's basically it. That's the entire character creation. That's all that's involved. We do want to give our character a story. I'm going to say stealthy loner assassin. Okay, and then my name, let's see, let's just it's kind of lizard man-y, kind of reptoid-ish, so let's say like Soon. Okay. All right, and that's it. That's our character. We've got our hit points there. We got 10. It's already pre-circled for us. We've got our loot all down in here. Oh, we want to add in our things. So we want to add these all together first. So strength is a +0. We didn't add anything to that. Okay. Dex is going to be a +4. So 2, 3, 4. That's a +4. So whenever we're using a dex-based thing, we're going to get +4 to our roll, which is awesome. Con, again, is +0. Intelligence +1. Okay. And then these two are 0 as well. And then just use modifiers in this game. So there's not like a sort of stat per se, as it's just a sort of modifier to your dice roll, which is a d20 roll as well too. So that's it. We did that all in about 14 minutes. That's awesome. Super fast character generation, and then let your imagination run from there. So if you haven't checked out this game, I highly recommend it. Like I said, ICRPG, index card, a role-playing game, core book, worlds. Get them over at Drive-Thru RPG, and check out Runehammer's channel and see his kick-ass vision for some of the stuff that's coming out in the future as well too. Until next time, I'm Questwise, and I'm out.